That's really the secret with cars and finding people that are like you in cars, is identifying. All right, my friends, I want to talk to you today about why it might feel hard for some of you, like it did for me, to make car friends. And I feel like I only started really making true car friends the way that felt aligned and authentic to me in my late 20s. And part of it is we all got our own quirks, right? We're all kind of weird. I'm clearly weird. I made some career decisions that I think a lot of people find incredibly weird. I was doing plastic surgery residency and I quit, right? How dumb or how crazy must I be to do something so wild, right? After getting into plastic surgery to then leave it. How weird must I be that I have spreadsheets of my lactate testing when I'm on the bike, right? I want to find my zone 2 as accurately as possible. Or I have a spreadsheet of like teas that I've bought and that I want to rebuy, things like that. So we all have our own quirks and our own idiosyncrasies, if you will. And I think that weirdness comes out with cars, right? Most car enthusiasts are actually not driving enthusiasts. And if you're watching this channel, you are almost certainly a driving enthusiast more so than a car enthusiast. And that's because, like me, you're kind of weird. Probably weird in a different way, though. Now, growing up, I identified as someone who was very into cars. That's always been my main passion, my main hobby. And the issue was that throughout my life, middle school, high school, college, it was hard for me to find people that enjoyed cars for the same reasons that I did. There were a lot of people who were into cars for the flash, for 0 to 60 times. I guess I was also a 0 to 60 times spec sheet warrior. But many people were into what is sexy and flashy and, you know, like an MC20 or a Lamborghini or a McLaren or certain types of Porsches and such. I guess Porsches are actually much more understated. But you get the point. A lot of it was the social status signaling of a car, which is not right or wrong. I think that as humans, we are status-seeking creatures, and some of us take that into our profession, into the cars we buy or the home we buy, and yada, yada, yada. That's a whole other conversation. But when it came to cars, I only started finding my tribe, my people, when I started doing more driving-focused events. Things like autocross. Now, there's a few common misconceptions here. The first thing is that you need a car to enjoy cars. And to be able to go to these car meets. Nah, dude, I would roll up in my mom's old Camry to car meets and still meet people and see cars. You just don't park next to the Ferrari. You just park out in the spectator area, right? It's not a big deal. You don't need a fancy car. And I've heard many people comment on that in person where they say, oh yeah, I don't go to car meets because I don't have a nice car. It's like, dude, don't let that limit you. It does not matter at all. And when I had an FRS, I would sometimes go to these like FRS owner meets, and I felt so out of place because it was like, hey guys, let's stance our cars and let's, you know, stuff that I, as someone that liked to go on the canyons and drive my car hard, I just couldn't relate. And another thing that made me kind of weird is that I was a med student with debt, and I didn't want to modify my car because I was like, yo, already getting the car was a huge thing. I don't want to drop more cash and lose more money because I'm not in that position where I can. So here I was rolling up with a close to stock, it was actually stock for several years, FRS, right? And people are like, oh yeah, that's like not cool, that's lame, or, you know, no respect there for a stock FRS that has plastic dipped black wheels. Plastic dip was more popular back then before it became what it is now, more frowned upon. But then I went to a BMW CCA autocross, and oh my god, I had so much fucking fun. Because there, it wasn't even about your car, it was just about the enjoyment of pushing a car to the limit, and it was so enjoyable. That's where I learned. I mean, I kind of learned oversteer, understeer in video games, Gran Turismo with a controller, but there I practiced it in real life, and it honed the skills and gave me the foundation to then start doing track days later on. And starting this YouTube channel and making friends with people like Fenton from the Zygreen channel or Chris Amos from the Topher, people like that, I'm like, holy shit, where have you guys been my whole life, right? And I have some car friends now through these various types of events, autocross and track days. And if you're like me, if you feel like you can't find your car people, your car tribe, maybe it's easier now than it was back then, because now YouTube has all these niches within cars. Back then I was just like watching Fastlane Daily and Car and Driver or whatever on YouTube. There weren't that many things that were focused on actual driving. It was just car news. And now you have experiences driving an Evo 6 in the canyons with an MC20 in front of you. Fucking epic times. I absolutely adore this car, by the way. A full review has either been released or is coming soon. Linked below. But then you find your friends that want to travel with you to Japan, and you want to rent some cars and drive through Hakone and go to Fuji Speedway and just have a great fucking time driving cars, because it's not about flexing, it's not about how cool you are and how badass you are and what's flashier, what makes me more of a man. It's about, yo, just fucking drive, enjoy the car, enjoy the experience. Life is short. And worrying about what's going to impress other people that do not give a shit about you, because guess what? Everyone has main character syndrome. You are the center of your universe. That applies to every single person. People think less about you than you think they do. When you let go of that and you just focus on your own enjoyment, on the own experience of driving awesome cars on awesome roads with awesome people, that's all you need, man. Starting this channel has been one of the best things I've done in a long time. It has brought me so much joy. I'm meeting you guys, my viewers, when you let me review your vehicles, like this Evo 6 as an example. I meet other content creators like Fenton and Chris, who are awesome people. And I get to experience so many different cars. I get to tell you about the experience and do more track days and try to improve my driver skill. And that's a whole other conversation. The process of how to improve your driver skill. You know what helps is driving a right-hand drive vehicle in America, because these little things, they just build your repertoire, your experience set of doing things that feel weird. Driving a right-hand vehicle, I've done in India, in Cape Town, South Africa, in Japan, in the UK, I've done it. And the first time you do it, it's a little bit hard for like the first 20-30 minutes, the first hour, then it gets a little bit easier. Then by day 3, day 4, it's not as exciting because it's a little bit more normal, right? And then you do it in the US, where you're now driving on the wrong side, right? For this layout of vehicle. And it's another challenge, and it's fun, it's interesting, it's like, it keeps you on your toes. You'll find that the most enjoyable things you do in life are when you get a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Not so much that it's frustrating, but just a little bit that it gets you more involved and present. That's really the secret with cars and finding people that are like you in cars, is identifying what is the essence, what is the foundational component of cars that you enjoy, and then seek out those people and where you're going to find them. If you like driving, go to autocross, go to track days, do sim racing, connect with people there, find groups that drive in the canyons, but don't be stupid there. There's a lot of people that do stupid shit in the canyons. Do it intelligently. God damn, dude. This car is such fucking money. Alright, my friends. I'll see you in that next one.